Every day, when nobody's looking, I run. I don't belong to a club. It takes grit. My attitude is like, I'm gonna run until I make it.
Pete Nelson Sr. is a legend. The youngest of 9 in a 3-bedroom one-bath house back in high school. He ran a 4:38 mile. He chain smoked from 18 to 48 years old. My dad decided to quit at 48 years old and go complete cold turkey and go right into running. He's ran 157 marathons and ultra marathons since he was 48 years old.
He's ran the Berlin Marathon. He's ran the Tokyo Marathon.
Dad, there he is. Actually a living legend, like in our myth.
Do you find comfort in discomfort?
Yes. Yeah. You know, it's not the lavish style or anything, but I never wanted that. And I'm doing now what I love to do. Sauna, run, ride the bike, lift some weights. It's awesome. Have a couple of dogs. That's what life is. Yeah.
Pete is my dad. My dad is 62 years old. He's definitely like built from resilience and built from just being a product of a crazy large family that grew up in a gritty town of Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm the youngest of 9 kids. The grit came from being the youngest. My dad, barking orders that you have to do things a certain way. A lot of it was instilled in me, for sure.
My father is the definition of grit over glory. He's a perfect testament that you're never too young or too old to start something. For him, 48 years old, chain smoking, really pivoting in the complete opposite direction and creating a positive addiction in running, and then letting that compound at 48 years old.
I started out with 5Ks and was doing really well. And then I said, well, there's got to be something tougher. So I did 10Ks, and then I did the half marathon. And then I said, well, what the heck, I'll pick up on the marathon.
26.2 miles, the marathon, is a blend of speed and endurance and resilience. It's the ultimate test to me of somebody's aerobic fitness. It's one where you can't just show up and toe the line and manage to get across.
So it was November of 2010. I did my first marathon. I qualified for Boston, and pretty easily by about 6 minutes. I signed up for Boston, and I'm like, I can do this anytime I want to. 5 buckle racks so far, so I need to get a couple more. 3 Chicago's here, a couple of Berlin medals to Boston. The trolley actually moved on this. North Coast, Bernie River, 100.
It was interesting just seeing him really take to something so deeply and take his health way more seriously around that. And it was inspiring.
He was always telling me, keep yourself involved with something. With running, every day he worked on it and continued to work on it and devote his life to it.
What I learned from him is that you need to do something on a consistent basis in order to get to any sort of goal.
When you look back on it, it's like you're always pushing for the next big thing, the next hardest thing to do. I'm not going to let anything stop me, that's for sure.
How many miles do you think you've ran in your life?
I average probably 1,500 to 2,000 miles a year times, 15 years? No, 14 because somebody had cancer, stroke, so whatever that is, 28,000, 25,000 or so. During the London Marathon in 2022, I started feeling a bump on my tongue. And when I got back home, I went to the dentist and they did the biopsy, and sure enough, I had tongue cancer.
We thought it was going to be like pretty minor, go in, remove the tongue cancer from his tongue. They would have to take skin and vein from his arms, recreate a new tongue, and that was going to be it. But, God had different plans.
After the surgery, something was off.
I was out for about 12 hours. Upon recovery, obviously couldn't talk. I felt something in my head, and I went like this to the nurse. I was having a stroke.
They brought him in for CAT scan, and it showed that there was a mass at the base of his brain. And immediately, it was a middle of the night thing. They called us, you need to get down here. We have to make some decisions.
He was in the recovery room, and I was actually there with him as he was having a stroke. This stroke was a really rare stroke. It only happens in 1% of individuals that go through this type of surgery.
They had to do immediate brain surgery. He was in the ICU, neuro ICU, for quite a while, just because of the severity of the stroke and surgery and everything. But that man is determined. Luckily, by the grace of God, he came through that surgery.
They had to graft skin and vein from his arm to recreate that new tongue. Well, he also had bandages over this arm. Show up the next day after saying this prayer, and they're undoing my dad's wrap. So my dad has all of his values on his arm. As he's unwrapping the arm, the top value is attitude. It was perfectly underlined through an incision mark that the doctor had made. That incision underscore is now a scar directly in your attitude. It's a great reminder for him, our family, that really if there's one thing that you can control every single day, it's your attitude.
Once he was able to get up and walk, which, after surgery was still a question, would he walk again? Would he be able to sit up straight and eat by himself?
He had to relearn how to walk and talk. The doctor told me he's not going to be able to probably run again.
After you have a stroke, your equilibrium is off, your balance, you can't really put two and two together, so you got to take it slow. But sure enough, just because he is who he is and he's resilient and determined, he took that walker and he started walking one foot in front of the other. Then it was without the walker, and then it was, okay, let's go on the treadmill. Slowly but surely, he added on those steps and those miles.
I think my dad encompasses grit just in the way he just never gives up. I mean, after his cancer surgery and his stroke, through that and through many other things in life, seeing him just recover and quite literally superhuman strength. He's my hero 100%.
As he was recovering from this stroke and everything and gaining some equilibrium back, he felt confident enough to say, I want to go out and try to jog.
I remember my mom saying, you better be careful with him. Don't do anything stupid. And we're down there and I'm like, all right, you feel ready? And he's like, yep. And he just did one of the thumbs up and he took his first couple of running steps. And I remember videoing that trip that first time and being like, he's back. He's back.
Peter got a wonderful video of them and just smile on his face. So happy to finally be running again after something that was complete left field. It was so inspiring, and that completely changed things in my mind. Just like having way more faith in the whole world. Just knowing like, wow, someone could go from questions of not even living to, wow, he's out there and he's running.
And he's just laughing and his raspy laugh, and it was just so special. But you knew that day was gonna come, and you knew that from there, it was game over. You knew that he was going to do something crazy.
Well, I'm running like my hair is on fire, and I don't intend to stop even when my legs grow tired.
Since that cancer diagnosis and since the stroke and relearning how to walk, that was August of 2023. Right now, as we're speaking right now, it's May of 2025. He's ran 19 ultras and marathons since then. To me, it's not even about the running. It's more so about the testament of the human spirit.
I have a tattoo that says attitude, dedication, integrity, and perseverance. Those are my mantras. Without the grit, there is no glory, as far as I'm concerned.
The doctors tell him to only run 3 to 4 days a week, but he's running more than that. He just loves to run.
Go Pete! Go Pete!
You have to get dirty, do the small things the right way. When I'm down here on the bike, it's always 5 miles every day. When I'm doing ab sit-up bench presses or the rowing machines, you do exactly what you're supposed to do, or a little more.
And that's what he's going to leave. It's not how many medals he has and how many races. It's just the fact that he just never gave up. It's not about the spotlight. It's not about the pace, the time. Really, it's about that you set your mind on something and the odds are against you and you persevere and you get through it. That's where some of the best stories are ever created by people, when it goes off script and you have to work through it.
I have a ridiculous amount of medals down there. Every one of them's earned. You never cut corners. And perseverance, well, that speaks for itself. I stay at it until I'm done.
I've got a message from Colorado, straight from Texas. You captured most of me, just let me be.
I don't know who that is. This is my dad. My dad will literally go from running, having a good time. He'll go out and run like 9 miles, and then the next thing you know, he's just stop and like pet a dog and say hi and then keep moving.
Right now, I just turned 62. I want to run all 7 continents. So far, I have 4. I want to do all 50 states. So far, I have 31. A marathon to run. I want to do 100 ultras and 100 regular marathons. Right now, I have 79 ultras, 77 regular marathons. Yeah, so I have 156 total. And hopefully pass a bunch of people. Then afterwards, kick back in the sauna and have a couple of beers. And that's life, man.